Our opinions aren't too tough, rough, or gruff. We are proof that you don't have to be an expert to have an opinion. So just
Shut up and sit down.
This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, plus Alex and Nate. I'm trying to do like an ampersand. I don't think I can do that with my fingers.
Parentheses, colon, Nate. Good to see you, Nate. Did you wear the orange shirt on purpose?
Yeah, I was thinking about my beanbag.
You know what? You know who is thinking about your beanbag? Who's beside you?
I was like,
It's me.
Hi. Good to see you, Sam. First Sam
Oh,
spotting
you
of the
too.
year. Good to see you. Muff, what is today?
Today is Monday, September 26th, and it's been a rough one. It's been a rough weekend. It's been a rough weekend for the betting world, which will come into full scope in the betting episode coming out on Thursday. But
Rough.
let's give you a precursor, and we don't know shit about gambling this weekend.
That is
there
absolutely
we go. We're ripping
true.
it off real early.
Yeah, you're probably going to hear same level of anger that Ken Dorsey exhibited at the end of the Bills game today on
That was
Thursday.
wild.
But here we are. As always, be sure to follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, sportsstuffw/Jim, &Sam Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, like, tickle,
Poke.
retweet, share,
Definitely retweet.
comment, all the things.
All the things.
Get to it. This is an abbreviated intro because we're just going to get right into it. But first, we do have to check in with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 56-97.
Yeah,
The
we're getting there.
final countdown to 100 losses is upon us. But the good news is they're still making history. This last week, they made the not so good kind. The Yankees become the first team in baseball history to have a walk-off grand slam one night and follow it the next game with a first inning grand slam against the Buccos.
So, like, will they cut into my football when the Pirates get 100 losses, like they did for what's his face trying to get the homers?
Only if Aaron Judge is about to hit a home run to beat the Pirates.
So Aaron Judge, apparently, like people were talking crap on the Pirates. I mean, for something new, actually. Apparently, they walked Aaron Judge at one point when they were down by like 6 runs. Everyone's like, really? Like he's on a home run chase and you walk the guy? Like, as though it would make a difference in your season. What happened right now?
Nobody wants to be the guy that gives up the 61st.
I don't blame him. I don't want to be an asterisk on the books of history. Like, no, thank you.
Now, I think I
don't
saw an interview with Jake Arrieta, who used to pitch for the Cubs primarily, I believe. And he said, at this point in the year, if I'm out of it, I'm just telling him, look, I'm going to throw you 3 fastballs here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you could hit my best fastball, more power to you, but I'm going to give you your shot.
Now let's get to what everybody came for. That's the football.
It is football season, and this is the NFL Breakdown.
Breakdown.
Yay!
We start out Thursday night, Browns versus Steelers. The Steelers go into Cleveland and lay an egg as the Browns and Jacoby Brissett play a solid game en route to a 29-17 win in Thursday night football. The Steelers highlight is that Mitch Trubisky actually threw the ball down the field at least a couple times, including a highlight reel catch from George Pickens, but Amari Cooper is a star in this one with 101 yards and a touchdown with a nice compliment by Nick Chubb, who notches another 100-yard game and adds a touchdown. Jim, would you like to tell the world what Alex and I said after this?
Muff says, Steelers aren't good. Alex says, yeah, the Steelers are nothing to write home about this year.
Are you going to say anything else that was said prior to my quote there?
I'm good.
Okay.
So we're picking and choosing.
Yeah, he did his own editing.
I'm good.
Okay. The first time Jim
George
said
Pickens'
anything.
catch was George
Uh-oh.
Pickens almost identical to OBJ's. Did you see all those comparisons?
Yeah, it was similar. I'm not gonna say it's the same.
So Muff,
So Jim,
the Jets beat Cleveland. Cleveland beat the Steelers.
Here we go.
the transitive property or whatever that is in the math world does not apply to football, Jim.
Are the Jets better than the Steelers?
No,
No.
I think they
Nate?
said that today.
Are the Jets better than the Steelers? I think it's a toss-up on the day.
Thank you.
He
That
did
wasn't
not
that
say
wasn't a
yes.
yes. Yeah.
I thank Nate for his response. Yinzers, calm down.
Go find out.
We can move on now.
Can we? Are you sure? Do you have anything else you want to say
Hey, Cleveland is the better team.
right now?
That's right.
I think that you bring TJ Watt back and the whole world is different.
Hey, we all got ifs and buts, but doesn't count.
No coconuts. Getting into Sunday football, Bills and Dolphins in an early season showdown of undefeated teams. When that friend of the show, Tim, actually attended,
Is that right?
he was in Miami for this game.
Wow.
It was a hot one, and the Dolphins improved to 3-0 with a come-from-behind win, 21-19. We've had the butt fumble, and now we have the butt punt.
The butt punt, yes.
As late in the game, back up in the end zone, the Dolphins punter hits his personal protector to give the Bills hope, only to let the clock run out in field goal range with no timeouts left. Are the Dolphins for real, Jumps?
I think they are.
They are contenders. Which
My
this
favorite.
is great. Go ahead. I'll let you say your favorite part.
No, my favorite part of this was that I really thought that didn't hit the. I didn't realize it hit his player's butt. I thought it just like he kicked it, like bicycle kicked it over his head, and I was like, now that is classic Dolphins.
Do you think it hurt when it hit his butt?
I would have to say, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I would say it probably hurt.
I'm going to say he felt it.
Yeah.
In other news from this game...
Hold on before we talk about Tua and the investigation. Muff, I think the better question is, are the Dolphins real? But is Tua legit, Muff?
Tua, I believe, what did I say last week? Tua may be real.
He just beat the Bills, who we all had in the Super Bowl.
He just beat the Bills with 4 or 5 defenders out of the game.
In 100 million degree heat, where people were literally like just collapsing on the field.
So let's get to November, December before we were going to make Tua a legitimate quarterback.
I just want the world to see that the Yinzers
That I've
always
nothing.
discrediting someone's achievement.
I was kind of thinking how, like, you know, people come in with silly stories of how things got stuck in their butts. Like, what if this football would have gotten stuck in his butt? And he would have said that, and we wouldn't have believed him.
Well, we have a story about that later.
I'm gonna start being.
Oh, gee.
I'm thinking
Let's
that
get to
do my
In other news from this game, Tua came out the field, obviously dazed at the end of the first half, and now the NFLPA is asking for an investigation into the situation and if the concussion protocols were followed. You think this is going to turn into anything?
So, no. What are they going to do? Take the win away? We've seen, like, that doesn't happen in the NFL.
I don't think this is about the win and loss. I think it's about the players' health and the protocols, Jim.
But so what's going to
There's
happen?
safety.
Well, we're going to take some more draft picks away from the Dolphins. Like, they don't care. This means nothing.
This means nothing.
Well, doesn't the NFL have like an independent doctor there to diagnose and treat concussions? So it's not like the team is held responsible for sending him back out there, right?
That's what I was just gonna say. They have an independent, like, neuroanalyst or whatever who goes in and does the check and whatever. So I think that realistically, you can't fault the team. I mean, that guy could lose his job if they prove that, you know, it wasn't the right thing. But
Or
if they say he can play, he can play.
he's not very independent if they say they'll slip you $50K.
Well,
Listen,
that's
Doc,
fine. But you
we got to
risk
get him
losing
out
your job.
there. Here's $50K. You don't talk,
You're-
we don't talk.
Then it
get
is on
through
the
this
Dolphins.
together.
Then it is
Right,
on
that's
the
what I'm
Dolphins.
saying. It's on the Dolphins then. And we've already seen
But how
their
do you know
ownership
that
doesn't
happened?
give a shit.
We can't just speculate that happened.
I can speculate. Why can't I speculate? Why are you taking my freedom to speculate?
I can speculate that the Browns are a shit team, but here we are.
You could, except they beat the Steelers this week, so that makes your team shit.
which I already said to some degree that they're not very.
You did
good
not
right now.
say to the degree. You said that they're a shit team, and I'm speculating that the Steelers are a shit team. I'm speculating.
Speculate away. Speaking of shit
Can we
teams,
stop saying speculate?
the Bengals take on the Jets. Both teams return to more normal play in this one as the Bengals come out on top 27-12. Joe Burrow throws for 3 scores and Joe Flacco tosses 2 to the wrong team.
Point. Pause.
Yes?
Steelers beat the Bengals. Bengals beat the Jets. Therefore, the Steelers are better than the Jets. Moving on. Sorry.
Or they all 4 suck.
Does it all seem better with the world now that the Bengals have won a game and the Jets have lost a game? Have lost a game to a good team.
It seems like we're a little bit less in Bizarro world. Yeah.
And do we think the Bengals can get back into the hunt and take control of the AFC North in the next few weeks?
What's their schedule look like? How many times
That's
was
what I'm
Burrow
look-
sacked? Oh,
I'm looking to see.
radio.
They play the Dolphins on Thursday night.
Oh,
Oh, so if
Let
the
me-
Bengals beat the Dolphins and the Bengals are maybe a not so good team, does that mean the Dolphins are not so good team and they're led by a not so good quarterback?
This is the game. This is the game to settle all scores here.
I don't know.
hey, Joe Burrow only got sacked twice this week.
He's feeling good about himself.
playing
He's
the
putting some
Jets.
jelly donuts in the linemen's lockers this week.
Thank you, boys.
Raiders Titans in a game where key offensive lineman Taylor Lewan is ruled out with a season-ending injury. Tennessee still finds a way to a 24-22 victory over the Raiders, despite a comeback in the second half that saw the Titans score 0 points. The Raiders are now 0-3 and in full panic mode. What can they do to recover and be a competitor in the NFC?
I don't know. I do not know. The Raiders. I played Carr in the fantasy league against Sam, thinking, well, this should be a decent game. Carr is not good.
So they brought in Devontae Adams. They have Darren Waller. They have a viable second receiving threat. They have Josh Jacobs. Where's the problem? The line, it has, I mean, I don't know enough about their offensive line, but I've got to think it's that in the defense.
Or Derek Carr.
Nate
I don't want to say Derek Carr is that bad. I mean, Derek Carr is not a Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, but he's not a bad quarterback.
He
not
really
knowing-
hasn't been the
not knowing
team
quarterback.
since broken or whatever a couple years ago when he was on that MVP run.
Yep.
More to come on the Raiders as the season unfolds. Panthers versus Saints, the toilet bowl of the week, shows that Baker Mayfield can still play football, despite reports to the contrary. Keeping possession and throwing a touchdown while Christian McCaffrey does his thing and help move the ball. Lots of field goals in this one lead to a 22-14 win over the Saints for the Panthers. Is James going to be able to right the ship in New Orleans, or is he just sinking it down?
Same old James, different uniform.
I don't think he's sinking it down. I think that the ship is sinking, but I don't know that it's like quote unquote Jameis sinking the ship.
Well, didn't they say last week Jameis is playing with like 3 cracked vertebrae or something?
Yes.
Pain.
Pain all over.
Pain all over. I mean, I don't think Alvin
I'm with
Kamara was-
Alex on this. I agree with Alex. Put that down in the record book.
I was going to say, on this day,
I don't think James is the sole reason the boat is sinking. The Saints got to win though. What are they now? 1-3, or the Panthers? I'm sorry.
1-2.
1-2.
Panthers and Saints are both 1-2.
All right.
Moving on to the Ravens taking on the Patriots. The Patriots may be in trouble. Mac Jones goes out towards the end of this game with an ankle injury. X-rays are negative.
Yeah.
You can't see a lot on an X-ray. An X-ray, he doesn't have a broken ankle, but that doesn't mean anything for everything else.
They were waiting for the swelling to go down, according to what I read.
Yep, the Pats are still reeling, and Lamar Jackson keeps making that contract number go up, 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 with 5 total touchdowns and 100-plus yard rushing performance as the Ravens take down the Patriots 37-26. Are the Ravens gonna start making plays to get that contract done now?
No,
They should be.
he won't listen.
What?
No, I think
He
Lamar's
said-
focused. His play is showing. He's focused on making that money next year. I don't think he's going to take the time now to go back into negotiations the way he's playing.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick. gonna
Mark
figure out a
Andrews
way.
is amazing.
Mark Andrews is amazing.
I know.
Let's be
He
honest.
just had a really good game today.
In Super Bowl contender matchup, the Lions take on the Vikings. Lions come out early in this one, but the Vikings stay on the course on the way to a 28-24 win. Kirk Cousins tosses 2 touchdowns, and Cook and Madison each put one on the board on the ground. But Cook does go out in this one with a shoulder injury and is now considered day-to-day. Is this the Lions coming back to reality?
Swift got hurt in this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that matters, does it, Jim? Doesn't matter if players get hurt.
It does.
I thought that
When did I say it didn't matter?
they should be able to win without their one of their players.
All right, Mom. I don't know where I said that, but you're crazy.
The Bills. You said the Dolphins were real and the Bills were losing like 4 or 5 defenders.
All right, Mom.
I don't think the Lions look bad today at all.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
They didn't.
No, the Lions are going to get some sneaky wins against teams that should beat them.
Yes.
Which is everybody. Can the Vikings compete
Hey,
without
Muff.
Cook in the backfield?
Stop talking shit on the Lions. They covered again this week.
He jumped on my Lion bandwagon.
Yeah, Jim. This is an Alex thing.
Yeah, but I backed him, and I'm betting them every week.
That's
So
true. He
stop
did back
talking
me.
shit.
Yeah.
It's not my fault the Lions are not good.
Neither are the Steelers. Let's move on.
Here we go.
You gonna keep coming back to that?
If you're going to keep beating on the Lions, yeah.
All right, Nate. Do we think that the Vikings can compete this year if Cook misses time?
I don't know. I mean, I think they'll be all right with that Madison dude in the backfield, but I'm just thinking about how bad they looked against Philadelphia. It's like, can they keep it together for the whole year, or somewhat the whole year? I mean, NFL football, as we all know, it's too highly competitive to be doing this week in and week out, whether good week, bad week, good week, bad week. But hey, I mean, Kirk Cousins just wasn't meant to play primetime, I guess.
Amen.
Eagles versus the Commanders.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Eagles continue their strong starts, dispatching of Carson Wentz and the Commanders 24-8. Jalen Hurts tosses for 340 and 3 scores as Devontae Smith goes off for 169 yards receiving and a score. We've talked a lot about bad teams. Should we be talking more about the Eagles being a good team?
Yes.
Yeah, they're winning the division this year.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they actually are the cream of the crop in the NFC least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like significantly the cream of the crop.
Yeah. Speaking of lesser than, least, and things that shouldn't have happened today, Chiefs taking on the Colts. The Colts, remember that they're in the NFL this week, scoring a late touchdown to go up and hold on for a 2017 win over the Chiefs. Still not a strong game in the running attack for the Colts. Jonathan Taylor only with 77 yards, but Matt Ryan does not turn the ball over. No interceptions, does throw for 2 scores. The Chiefs right now are still sitting atop the division with a 2-1 record. But is there any reason for worry in Kansas City, as they don't seem to be the Chiefs of old?
Yes. I think when you see Bieniemy and Mahomes arguing on the sideline, when you see them struggling with the Colts, I think there's time to worry.
He kind of addressed that. Like they did a little interview snippet with Mahomes after the game, and he was like, yeah, it was like more blown out just by like people catching it on video. He's like, realistically, all I said was like, I thought we could go for it. And he was explaining to me why we couldn't. And we just got in a little back and forth for a second. And then once we went to the locker room, no one said anything else about it. And it was totally fine. He's like, but because that clip was caught there, it looked worse than it was.
If you see turmoil in that organization like that,
But that's one incident. If this happened every week or if this happens again, okay, then I'm going to see a trend. But like I've been on teams before where I really like the coach. And you're just like, oh, why aren't we going for it? Or why didn't you call time out there? But I mean, when you're a professional getting paid, you have more of a voice in saying that. I think it's okay to have a small disagreement. It's not like they were yelling and like throwing hands. They were just kind of disagreeing.
I'm going to agree to disagree for
Okay.
the sake of our team.
I'm not going to look into that. more than I did. And I think that the Colts were supposed to be a really good team, and I think the Colts just showed up and played like the team they were supposed to be playing as. So they beat the Chiefs.
Also, can we talk about why Jonathan Taylor's not getting more yards? Is it because they like everybody's wizened up and they're like, oh,
That's what I'm wondering.
or is like the game plan just not working out for it? Like, what is the deal?
Nobody thinks that Matt Ryan's going to throw the ball over the field, so they're making the team one-dimensional.
That's what I thank you.
And until Matt Ryan starts throwing the ball around, then people are going to continue to do what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Texans at Bears. If the Panthers-Saints game was the toilet bowl, this might be the sewage field showdown. The Bears do come out on top, though, 23-20, despite losing David Montgomery to injury. But Khalil Herbert did just fine, rushing for 157 and 2 scores to offset 2 interceptions by Justin Fields. Texans. The Texans. Is this going to be an O for this year, or are they going to turn this around?
It won't be an over, but they're also not going to turn it around.
Who do you see him beating, Nate?
Colts.
They did
Okay.
tire it once, so that's still a toss up.
All right.
Jags Chargers. Jacksonville takes it to the Chargers, Alex says, winning 38-10 from their first road game after losing 18 in a row on the road. Jim, did you get a chance to see any of this game or catch any of this game? Or
I've seen some of the highlights of it. Once I saw the Allen, like it was, what time was that? It wasn't even close to 4 o'clock. It was like noon, and they had decided that Allen was sitting and Herbert was playing at noon.
Mm-hmm.
The games were, because I couldn't switch quarterback, so it was 1 o'clock. The games had already started.
Well, they decided at noon. That's whenever the final injury reports have to come out.
No, it was 1 because that car was already playing. Otherwise, I would have switched. I was worried, like, why are we putting Herbert out there beat up? And I kind of knew that this game was going to be a bust. Like, I had no real expectations for this game at all.
Do we know if Herbert the injection?
What I read this morning was if he was playing, he took the injection. If he wasn't playing, he didn't take the injection. Now that could be different, but what I read this morning prior to, if he played, he has the injection.
Ooh, I wonder who gave it.
The same guy that got Tyron.
So what I heard was keep checking Twitter tomorrow morning. Got it.
Yeah.
Keep checking his respiratory rate and for
Yeah.
any signs of respiratory distress. Copy.
Don't forget now the Jags are 2-1.
That's interesting. I agree.
So, okay, yeah, Urban Meyer's a terrible coach. Got it.
See, and I was wondering if we were going to go down this route when I was looking at the notes. I don't know that he's a terrible coach, and I'm not trying to be an Urban
NFL
apologist. Okay, I'm going to hold that thought for a couple more weeks. I think that I don't think this has anything to do with his coaching so much as his own ego. And I don't know how to define that line for you.
Well, I think for me, that's why I'm saying he's a terrible NFL coach, because his ego and the way he runs a team is fine for college football. And I don't think it has anything to do with his football mind. But when you're in a room full of grown-ass men who are getting paid to be there, you can't be the same person that you are with a bunch of 18-year-old guys.
Another great point. I defer to Alex. That was a great way to sum that up.
Well, and don't forget who else didn't have a great NFL experience that's a great college coach. It's Nick Saban.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
Rams Cardinals. Spoiler alert for Thursday's betting episode. The Cardinals do not come through for me with a cover this week, and the Rams come to Arizona and take away a win 20-12.
Yes, Aaron Donald becomes the second defensive tackle in NFL history with 100 sacks since this became a stat that was tracked in 1982. And he obviously has the most sacks since he started playing.
Aaron Donald from Pittsburgh Ipso facto, Pittsburgh is a great football place.
Here we go again with the transitive properties, which I don't think we're using that word correct at all.
I don't think it's transitive. I just forget which one it is.
So that's okay.
Hey! Back up to the Chargers game.
Well, here we go.
Why?
Bosa got hurt with a groin injury.
Yes.
Does the day end in why? Bosa's hurt.
Right? Thank you. That was my point. It's
Yeah.
like, it seems to be a running thing with him.
Maybe. He's got a bad groin.
So I have this theory, and I'm trying not to mix college and NFL, but the medical staff and the body performance staff on Ohio State team is like revolutionary. And I don't mean that because I'm a Ohio State homer. I mean that in the sense that like they get a lot of money and pamper the hell out of those kids.
I don't think that makes that revolutionary.
Muff, there's like articles written about it. Like
What about them getting money? I need to know what's revolutionary. Like having money doesn't make you
all the
revolutionary.
new technology
Ohio State has a very good medical program.
Yeah.
and all the new technology for football kind of starts at Ohio State and like kind of gets Ohio State, Alabama, those teams are the ones that are developing the new technology. My question is, Ohio State players then go to the NFL. Is the care being delivered by that medical staff less than, and they're getting hurt more? Zeke,
Maybe.
Chase Young, Bosa, those guys getting hurt often.
Maybe they just made them soft.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's not the NFL medical staff. It's the Ohio State people pampering them and not letting them get roughed up a little.
Yes, I will. Another great point by Alex. This is the Great Point Alex show. But what do you guys think?
It's just a high of soft. I think that's what we just heard.
I knew Muff was going to
Think about how many more games these big name guys are playing. I mean, now you want to expand the college football playoff, which granted it needed done. But you're playing how many games in the regular season, plus your conference championship game, and now you're going to be in a couple years playing maybe up to 3 playoff games.
So they're playing
And then
more and therefore
mention
getting
your
hurt.
17-game regular season in the NFL, you're going to get hurt eventually.
Another fair point. All right.
Packers
Fair enough.
Bucks. Packers Bucks, Nate. Somewhat of a snooze fest in this one. This is in Alex's opinion. He wrote the notes. I love how Alex puts in my opinion in the notes.
I know.
I don't do that. I just say it, Alex. You don't have to, whatever. Just roll with
I
it.
was just defending it because I didn't want to offend Nate, but it really was kind of a boring game compared to what a normal Rodgers-Brady matchup would be. Now, that's because they were both missing. I mean, it wasn't a Devontae Adams, Mike Evans matchup, and
Oh, yeah, it definitely wasn't the premier matchup they probably thought it was going to be when they scheduled this game for the season. But, I mean, whenever you don't have your top 3 receivers and you can't get a playoff or a 2-point conversion without the play clock expiring, and you want to throw Microsoft tablets because your butt hurt.
This comes out to Green Bay winning 14-12.
Brady did do Brady things. He led a late, very, very late, almost the end of the game, 89-yard drive down the field, gets the needed touchdown, but the 2-point conversion attempt had a delay of game penalty adding 5 yards, and eventually an unsuccessful 2-point conversion. Alan Lazard steals the deal with an onside kick recovery for Green Bay.
Do you think Tom Brady had to use iPads to learn lyrics on The Masked Singer?
Oh, you're feeding into this now, Jim? We find out on Wednesday, by the way.
I'm excited. Nate, how pissed are you going to be if he was on The Masked Singer?
I wouldn't.
You're not going to be mad at all?
Why would I be?
He left your team to be on The Masked Singer.
I mean, given who he is, I don't care if his name was Joe Blow. Given his background, I think he warrants whatever he wants at this point.
Okay.
Tom Brady didn't lose the game today. It's not like he's making the team worse.
Yeah,
I just want to know what Nate's form of loyalty is. And Nate is saying that his greatness has earned him a break.
Falcons taking on the Seahawks. Alex, just do this yourself.
Yeah.
Geno Smith throws for 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. No further information needed on this game. And then in parentheses, this is why you shouldn't let Alex write up these reviews. In parentheses, unfortunately, the performance from Gino wasn't enough to best the Falcons and Marcus Mariota, and they lost 27-23.
So WVU comes up short again.
With a great no, I'm saying that the entire Seahawks team, except for the Mountaineer, needed some work.
Oh, okay.
No.
I think it translates to the Seahawks got their big win against Russell Wilson. Now they're back to reality.
Fair enough.
I was just glad Gino threw for over 325 yards.
Do you have him on any of your fantasy teams?
No, I literally don't care if the Seahawks themselves win or lose, but I like people like, yeah, Geno Smith threw for 325 yards this weekend.
Well, why wouldn't you take him on one of your fantasy teams?
Because I have Matt Stafford and Kyler Murray.
I think Geno Smith had better.
Oh, this week, yeah, better. But most weeks, if I had a so-so quarterback, I'd consider him. There are definitely quarterbacks I would take him over.
All right.
Matt Ryan.
Eye out on Alex's quarterback situation come the bye weeks.
There you go.
Yeah, we know you have 4 quarterbacks.
Still.
Yeah, that's why I can't get another quarterback because Sam has them all.
All the good-looking ones from West Virginia are on Sam's team.
Exactly.
49ers Broncos live looking. How we thinking? What's going on here?
Got 7-0 49ers on a Brandon Ayuk touchdown catch.
There we go. Yes, Nate.
Oh, she's like, I dropped your iPad.
I was gonna defend myself about the quarterbacks, but
Do it.
nobody cares.
I can't.
I care.
I picked them based on, how good they were, and then when it got to the end, there weren't a lot of players left, so I picked on whether they were cute.
That was not
But
a
I
great
didn't-
defense.
I did not take Mason Rudolph.
That was not a great
The
defense.
third string quarterback.
And I did give up a quarterback, so if you need one, Alex, you can have it.
Thanks. I just
I
like
don't
that I didn't think Mason Rudolph. Like I think he might have been like it would have been like 0.0000001% owned in fantasy leagues.
I have moved on. I now like TJ Watt, so
Okay. It's probably going to be a better
Basically.
successful season for you.
I mean, he at least plays in a game once in a while.
Exactly.
So
Jimmy G's on right now.
That's true.
Yeah, Dougie G, my guy.
A little fact for you about Jimmy G, Sam. Maybe this is interesting to you. We're on the Jimmy G money watch for the rest of the season. Each game that he plays, at least 25% of the snaps, he earns $250K and gets $350K if they win that game.
Sorry, Nate. I'm leaving you for Dougie.
Which means he could earn an
Dougie, I
extra
forgot.
$5.6 million this year.
Ooh. Sorry, Nate. I gotta go.
Eight's head just whips to his right.
Woof.
Prediction on the way out.
The money
All
watch.
right.
The money watch right now. Jimmy G's at $350K. He's played in and won 1 game. Looking like maybe 2 to $700K. Cowboys and Giants Monday Night Football. Preview.
I want to see the Giants when this game's so bad.
I do too.
Me too.
I'm interested to see what Jerry Jones says if the Cowboys lose about Cooper Rush.
We didn't get enough of them mojo moments.
Well, Jerry Jones came out and said that, Cooper Rush does well. We hope that everybody does well, so we have tough decisions to make, which many are interpreting as Dak Prescott not your guy anymore.
Over Cooper Rush? I mean,
I'm just saying what Jerry said.
You mean
Hold on.
Jerry didn't?
I'll make it
put
real
Dak-
clear. I like that Cooper Rush boy because he's white. A little bit ginger, but he's white. If
that's
he's done real good, we're going to keep him. I know I paid a lot of money, but money don't mean shit to me because I'm Jerry Jones. That's the answer to that.
Are you defending fellow redheads?
No. I'm saying Jerry hired Andy Dalton, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Jerry's got a redhead fetish. Jerry probably loves me. Jerry, hit me up.
$20 is $20.
Right?
More like 20,000 is 20,000.
Yeah.
I went 0-6 in college. Jerry, hit me up.
Oh,
And that brings a close to this week's NFL breakdown.
This is the college football breakdown. All right, let's roll. Let's start off with number 1. Georgia has a down game, but still notches a 39-22 over Kent State. Down game? Are we going to call it a down game?
I mean, it was like a 47-point spread or something like that. So,
Okay. I think Kent State's a legit team.
Why?
I'm just trying to make trying to cause some controversy.
Listen, fun fact about Kent State, Wheeling Park High School alumni Andrew Glass is the kicker for Kent State and was a perfect 3 for 3 with field goals, his longest being 45 yards, and he went 1 for 1 on extra points.
Hey, good for him.
Hometown boy.
Gotta love that. Number 2, Alabama dominates Vandy 55-3. Saw that coming.
Yeah.
Number 5, Clemson, who should not be ranked number 5, needs overtime to beat number 21 Wake Forest 51-45 in what looked like a Big 12 game. Thoughts
Wait a
on
second.
Clemson? It looked like a Big 12 game, Alex. That's exactly
I
what
know,
it looked
you're
like.
right.
It was dog shit.
I thought for a second you were being insulting, and then I was like, oh no, it's a high score, and that's what I'm going to take from that.
There was no defense.
Yeah. I take from it that going into the season, I think Wake Forest had some decent expectations. I mean, Clemson got away with the win that they needed to come away with.
And that was the theme of this week, right? Win.
Yes. Not
Just-
pretty.
Oh,
baby.
see, we're gonna get into this, Muff. That's some horse shit. I'm gonna let you
there
hang
are-
on to that statement. We're gonna keep moving.
There are multiple teams that were in this boat.
Muff, do you think Clemson should be ranked number 5?
Yes.
Nate?
I mean, really, right now, from what I've seen, if you're not in the top 4, you're really not that good.
Thank you. I also think number 5 Clemson is dog shit. Moving on, number 7.
No,
US
wait, go back. I don't think they're dog shit. I think there's a big difference
shut
between
up.
saying there's a big difference between saying they don't deserve to be ranked number 5 and saying they're dog shit.
I'm glad you said something. I'm glad you challenged me because I put up the AP poll now, and I'm gonna put this up against you, Alex. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Is USC better than Clemson?
Yes.
Is Penn State better than Clemson?
Yes.
Is Kentucky better than Clemson?
Could be.
Tennessee?
Yes.
USC?
You already said that, but yes.
Michigan?
That's where I get
Oklahoma State?
no.
I'm
not saying Jim.
NC State?
No, Jim.
Wait.
Let's go back to the point that I made was that
There shouldn't be number 5.
yes, I just said that. I said saying that Clemson shouldn't be number 5 is not the same as calling them a dog shit team. I don't think they're a dog shit football team, but I don't think they should be ranked number 5. I don't know that they should be in the top 10 right now, from what I've seen, to be completely honest.
Okay, fair enough.
Just as many ranked wins as Ohio State.
I don't really care. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the quality of team. They're a dog shit team.
Okay. When they start losing, then we can have that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, they just don't pass the eye test as a number 5 team.
Thank you. I like Nate. Nate should be on the show a lot more. USC gets into a dogfight. Number 7, USC gets in a dogfight against Oregon State, surviving 17-14 thanks to a late score. Thoughts on USC? Alex.
A win's a win. It wasn't pretty, but they got away with the win that they needed to get away with.
Is USC real?
Yes.
Muff.
So, not this would have influenced my bet in this game, but USC has a history of going into Oregon State and not doing well.
Is USC real? Muff.
Yes.
Nate.
USC real? Yeah, for now, unless they prove us otherwise.
I lean more towards Nate. Moving on. Number 8, Kentucky doesn't dominate, but continues their strong start, beating Northern Illinois 31-23. What do we think about this win?
Winners win. That's why I said the theme of this week
Good
was
teams win,
just
great
win.
teams. Good teams win, great teams cover.
Great team. Okay. Remember you said that. We're going to stick
I
to
don't
this.
think they covered.
I think that this is what we're going to move on. You're going to make me so mad at Muff tonight. Number 23, Texas A&M.
Wait, just so we're clear, Alex is going to make Jim mad at me, not me making Jim.
That's what I was just about to say. I like how
Yes.
I'm fighting with him, and he's going to be so mad at me.
Yes, because it's Muff's smug face that pisses me off. Number 23, Texas A&M shows there's still a team to be reckoned with, taking down number 10, Arkansas. This was a quality game. This was a good win for Jimbo Fisher. I think it tarnishes Arkansas, and we will not see them back in the top 10.
Jim said something nice about Jimbo Fisher. Again,
I did.
I would like to point out Jim's maturity in talking about football.
Thank you.
What? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think that Arkansas will be back in the top 10. Thoughts?
I
Agreed.
think that Arkansas has plenty of opportunities to get wins that will put them back in the top 10.
But they're going to have to show out.
But they will
Yeah.
not.
Yes. Number 11, Tennessee continues their strong start, beating Florida 38-33. Thoughts on Tennessee, folks?
I think Tennessee might be for real.
I agree.
I also agree. But
Was-
Tennessee can be one of those people that
Not
just
top 4 for real, but top 10.
Well, I
Yes.
think they are top 10 now, right?
They are 8 now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're better than Clemson team.
I'm not going to go that far.
I think the real answer, and this is the controversy that I've been talking about since week 1. Who is the better team? And we're going to find out. I believe they play each other. Kentucky or Tennessee?
Tennessee.
That's a coin flip, and I'm interested to watch that game.
Nate.
Repeat the question. I was watching this game in middle of a text. Sorry.
Kentucky versus Tennessee. Who do you have?
Give me the Vols.
I'm with the Tennessee right now. Good take, boys. Good take. Number 12, NC State keeps sneaking up the rankings thanks to a 4-0 start, beating UConn. If we're going to say beating UConn helped them sneak up the rankings, that's not legit.
But they keep winning, which means they're going to keep sneaking up the rankings.
They snuck up the rankings thanks to a lot of upsets.
Jim, are they better than Clemson?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Well, ED, because that's where game day is going this week.
Good.
Bum, bum, bum.
Good. Number 16, Oregon continues their recovery from an opening week ass whooping, beating Washington State 44-41, thanks to outscoring them 29-14 in the final quarter. What do we think about Oregon?
We're going to find out Oregon when they play USC.
I don't
They're
think
spotty.
the quarterback.
Good night.
So I don't think Bo Nix has got it.
Thank you.
Auburn,
Nate,
didn't,
or-
Auburn didn't either.
Alex?
Oh, I agree. I don't think Bo Nix has it. I think they're spotty. I think it's gonna be hit and miss. I would have loved to see Wazoo win this game, actually. I think they earned it, but
So Oregon doesn't play USC, Muff.
Oh, they don't? It's a Pac-12 championship, maybe?
Yeah, they play Utah. I think that's where we find out. And they do have to make a run at Washington.
And Washington's look pretty good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we don't find out what Oregon's really made of until the end of the year. So they can crack the top 10. Moving on. Ole Miss notches a 35-27 win over Tulsa. That's a good win.
What? It's a good win?
That's a good win.
Where do you get that, like, Tulsa and Tulane and these teams are good?
They're good teams.
They won by a touchdown.
They're good teams.
Winners win. They didn't cover.
Tulsa. Yep, you're right, Muff. Moving on. Number 18, Washington beats Stanford 40-22. Should Stanford shut down their football program at this point?
No.
Wait till Andrew Luck has a kid.
They're really bad. Number
I
19,
think they just need to
BYU. Go
move
ahead.
on. I think they just need to move on from what's his name's coaching philosophy. I mean, that offense really doesn't fit that conference, let alone college football today.
I
I
agree.
can't remember. David Shaw.
That's a good take. That's a good take, Nate. Number 18, Washington beat. Oh, I already said that. Number 19, BYU wins 38-24 over Wyoming. Not
They
much
won.
there.
They
Yep.
won.
Number 24, Pitt wins against Rhode Island 45-24.
Blech.
And number 25, Miami continues to fall, losing to Middle Tennessee 45-31. And another edition of this team is not back.
Yeah, that is a hard not back for me.
Yeah, Texas and Miami. Everybody wants them to be, but
Ooh.
ain't the
Mhm.
case.
Texas is more back than Miami.
Texas and Miami need to play each other in a bowl game every year and call it the
Yeah.
Goose back.
Yep, I agree.
Texas is a little more back than Miami, though. Miami just looks sad.
Can it be the
That
Marshall
was sad.
the Marshall Mathers Bowl?
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back?
All right.
Back.
Let's get to the Big Ten rundown. Number 3, Ohio State takes on Wisconsin and a down. Who the hell wrote this shit? Number 3, Ohio State takes on Wisconsin, beating them in the blackout game, 52-21. Who wrote that in a down year? You all can kiss my ass.
Wisconsin isn't a down year.
You all can kiss my
They already
ass.
have 2 losses.
Yeah, I would say technically this is a down year for Wisconsin if you're looking at this. What's the definition of a down year then for Wisconsin?
We're moving on. Number 4, Michigan faces the first resistance of the season against Maryland, squeaking out a 34-27 win. The spread was 17.5 in this game.
Spread was 15.
When we first started, the
17.
spread during the week was 17.5.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. So what do we think about Michigan? What do we think about Maryland?
They got Tagovailoa at quarterback, so they got a shot.
He makes some bonehead throws.
Trying to do too much.
Yes.
Is he sophomore?
I
Yes,
think a junior.
maybe. It's like its second year playing, I guess.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. The second year
Yeah.
starting. So again, this is another case of win the game.
Listed as a
Move on.
You can't say win the game, move on, and great teams cover. Like, you contradict yourself.
No. I said good teams win, great teams cover. So Michigan's still a good team because they got the win.
But they're not a great team.
Not this
Correct.
week. Not this week.
Okay. Do you think Michigan deserves the number 4 ranking?
Yes. They've done nothing as far as
Yeah.
their win losses to prove
They've
otherwise.
played no one.
All right, Jim, who would you put ahead of them right now?
All right. Hold on. Let me scroll down. I'll tell
Clemson,
you.
got it. Clemson ahead of Michigan. Understood.
I would put USC.
But
Anybody else?
Based on what?
The eye test alone.
When have you watched a USC game?
I try real hard. I fall asleep through after the
I try
halftime.
real hard.
I try hard.
So again,
Well,
the question stands: who's better than
A
Michigan?
nap in or whatever to watch you.
I just said USC.
Yeah, but you said the eye test, and you don't even get to watch those games.
I watch a half. If you watch the first half of the USC game, the first half of the Michigan game, you're going for USC. First half of the Clemson game, first half of the USC game. USC.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Jim, but after Michigan's run last year, they're going to have to be dethroned from that spot.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not like every year. The problem is that and I've always kind of said this, the top 25 rolls over week to week. We don't start from scratch. It's not like, okay, this week now who's top? Okay, they were 2 and they lost. They might get knocked down to 8. But if you would start from scratch, they might go back up on the board as a 15. But you can't justify knocking people down that don't need knocked down yet.
I don't believe Michigan's a number 14.
They would have to lose to go down.
I still don't believe they're number 14.
Okay.
Number 14, Penn State, doesn't look as strong as weeks past, as last week is what we should say, but still takes care of business, beating Central Michigan 33-14.
Penn State has covered
Muff's
every week.
already loaded up the excuses. Maybe not great this week, but the Penn State Board of Trustees did approve for the sale of alcohol in Beaver Stadium. Pay no attention to the fact they didn't cover,
So they're still great.
Still great.
but they're selling booze now in Happy Valley.
But no, I need the Jim quote of the week. Why is James Franklin deserving to be fired this week?
Yes.
Because they didn't cover. Muff, I made a deal on the betting show that if
You-
they covered, I would not talk shit.
Right.
They
still
did not
won.
cover.
They still won.
They
So
did not cover
They're still a good team.
against Central Michigan.
Winners win.
They did not cover.
Okay, so when Ohio State didn't cover versus Tulsa, or did they? Toledo.
That's why he
Yeah.
thinks. That's why he
This
thinks
week
they're
was
a
the
good
first
team.
week Ohio State covered.
That's why we're talking about how good of a team Tulsa is.
Right, because they played Ohio State
I'm not sure Ohio State
covered.
played Tulsa.
or Toledo. Whoever the hell you
Toledo.
played.
Whichever one it
Whatever
was.
garbage team you played.
But they
was
covered.
Like, oh my God.
But they
They're-
covered, so now they're a
such
fantastic team.
They're such a good offense because they put up points against Ohio State. Maybe Ohio State's defense isn't good. Like, what are we going to do?
Well, this week they proved that they are. So kiss my freaking butt.
Because they,
Moving on.
beat Wisconsin in a down year. Got it. That
Oh
proves
my
a lot.
God. Oh my God. Illinois improves 3-1 to 3-1 against a 31-0 win over Chattanooga.
We are on him today.
Well, considering the Steelers lost to the Browns, Penn State can't cover. You got a lot of shit to talk.
Because Penn State lost.
Oh, no,
Illinois
is that a win, Jim? Is that a good win?
Oh, I think it's a great win. That's a good win. That's a great win. Minnesota stays undefeated and gets a Big Ten win, beating Michigan State 34-7. Is Michigan State, is this like bad?
Yes. There's the toilet bowl rotating clockwise.
Did they
No.
take
Yes.
did they take Maryland's spot or in the Big Ten?
They're definitely falling. I don't know where they're going to end up, but at this point, yeah, it looks like they're in that bottom quarter.
Yeah. Cincinnati outscores Indiana 45-24. Embarrassing for Indiana. Iowa continues to
Is it?
grind.
Yeah,
Yes.
why is that Indiana given Cincinnati's recent successes?
Okay, whatever, guys. Whatever.
So 2 weeks from now, when you say Cincinnati's a great team, we can't talk about that.
I
then?
tried to say they were a great team 3 weeks ago, and you were like, they don't have their quarterback. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. They're not as good as they were. They are tarnished. And you're like, yeah. And then we move on to this, and I call it embarrassing because they don't have the weapons they used to have. They're not the Cincinnati of old, and now you want to come back at me. Pick your lane, Muff.
I did. Penn State's great. Done.
Oh
End
my
of story.
God.
Period.
Iowa continues to grind it out, beating Rutgers 27-10.
And covers Iowa great team confirmed.
Yeah, sure. Against Rutgers, Penn State's rival. Iowa's defense looked fantastic in that game.
They have all year.
I mean,
That's the only
If-
thing they have.
if they can find an offense, they'd be golden.
They don't even need to find a full offense. They just need to find one facet of their offense.
Yeah.
Either figure out how to run the ball down everyone's throat, like Wisconsin. Like they could be the new Wisconsin with this.
They could, yes. Miami of Ohio beats Northwestern 17-14, the real embarrassment. And then Purdue gets a win 28-26 over Florida Atlantic. I still contend that, like, I get Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald or whatever his name is in Northwestern is like, revered like Joe Pa. But this is not a season that like can be forgotten. There's got to be some kind of like, hey man, you're on some kind of warm seat. Maybe not a hot seat, but it might be a little toasty.
I still contend as long as the graduation rate stays up, they're going to keep him there.
You're right. You're right. And I hate that, but you're right. Go ahead, Alex. Take over the Big 12.
In the Big 12, number 6, Oklahoma can't beat old man Adrian Martinez as Kansas State gets the upset 41-34, which hurts me because Kansas State was supposed to be the upset team in the Big 12 this year and was not showing any sign of it. If they had been up to this point, I'd be like, yeah, cool. Like, let someone else be the good person. I'm like, now you've knocked off like our one good team we had. So thanks, assholes. Number 17, Baylor gets a key Big 12 win over Iowa State, 31-24. Number 20.
How is that a key big win?
Because Iowa State's not a bad Big 12 team.
And it's a Big 12 win.
Okay.
It's
Fair
a it's a conference win. And Nebraska confirmed better than Oklahoma.
Number 22, Texas loses to in-state rival Texas Tech, 37-34. All right, I'm not reading that part. Texas is not bad. I think I think Texas is mediumly back. I don't think Texas is national title back, but I think Texas is being a contender in putting their hat in the ring a lot more than they have been in other years when they claim to be back. And
Yeah,
they have their
Justin-
backup quarterback in right now.
Yeah, they're
WV
getting back just in time to go to the SEC to get killed every week.
That's fine. Just this year is the only year I really care about them.
Yeah.
To be completely honest. WVU wins a trophy, beating Virginia Tech and Blacksburg 33-10. Neil Brown survives another week, unfortunately, or fortunately. I mean, I'm glad we won. Also, it's called the Black Diamond Trophy, you insensitive buttholes.
Oh.
What is it even for? Like, do you even
Because it has
know?
to do with the proudness of the like coal in the region. Yes, it's a like giant piece of coal, basically.
Yeah. I
The
thought
black coal turns to diamond.
it was going down ski slopes
No,
in Canadian
That's
Valley.
what I thought too. I
no, it
wasn't gonna lie.
literally is about coal and it being from a coal region.
Right.
Jerks. TCU takes down SMU 42-34 in a solid Big 12 win. Not in conference, but a solid win for a Big 12 team, just to clarify, just adding that for Jim. And Kansas stays unbeaten. Things I did not think I'd be saying after week 4, winning 35-27 over Duke.
Rock
Is Kansas
Chalk,
up 25?
They're earning
They
a
are
20s. Not
Kansas State is 25, but Kansas is not.
I think Kansas could be 25.
But that's the AP. The AP does not rank Kansas, but they rank Kansas State.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I think that Kansas deserves that spot, not Kansas State.
Wild. Okay.
Right. And Alex, just looking ahead, Kansas hosts Iowa State next week.
It's gonna be a tough one for them.
Are you gonna bet them this week, Alex?
I technically said I was gonna ride them till I die, but we'll see. But the line comes out as it settles as.
If you don't die this week.
Yeah. And now we're going to move on to the bean bag drop.
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 Damn.
We're doing the beanbag drop.
There we just got hit. It's got
Yeah.
a copyright infringement.
He doesn't know.
Because of the tune. Babine, babag, drop. We have to change the tune.
I did make Nate something really cool for Thanksgiving football season for the beanbag bop. So
What?
beanbag drop.
Damn, you're gonna give us some
We're
trouble.
dropping the beanbag.
Speaking of dropped, looking into this NFL game right now, Debo is on the field, down.
Oh,
These guys want to play less preseason games, and now they're getting hurt. Nate, you got any referee talk for us, buddy?
Yeah, just to bring it back up to see Jim's space, we had a Gumby again today. Really, we had that, and really didn't see much. I didn't get a chance to watch much college football yesterday because we had a wedding to go to, and then today with all the Pee-wee, didn't really get to see much other than what I'm watching right now with this Niners and Broncos.
I do have one question. I was thinking back on the games I watched. Quarterback throws the ball center of the field to receiver. The receiver has to jump up for it. The quarterback has definitely put the ball in a position where the receiver is now left to die. The defender hits the receiver at the legs. Receiver does a backflip landing on his skull. Is that a flag for anything?
I think you might get it depending on the severity or watching it live. You could have a defenseless because, you want to say don't hit him above the neck, but at the same time, you don't want to take his legs out from under and make him flip. I mean, he has no chance to gear up for that hit coming.
I'm not just the Ohio State game. I saw it in the Texas game. I saw a lot of games. Those were not being flagged. So I was like, I'm going to ask Nate about that. Because I thought, I understand why it's not being flagged because these receivers are talented enough that when they do come down, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
But for player safety's sake,
if they're airborne, that's tough because again, you don't want to. Take anything away from the defense. They're trying to break it up the best way they can, and that's not going for the head. So it's like, where do you want to hit?
Yeah. So as a ref, I don't know what I would do in that situation. Because there are times where they were coming down. I was like, oh, that's bad poop.
But you can definitely tell sometimes too when a receiver is like set up. Like I said, especially over the middle, if the DB is coming for what we call kill shot, or if he's coming in to make a play on the ball or to tackle the receiver. If he's
Gotcha.
coming in for a clear kill shot, then yeah, you're probably going to flag it.
Gotcha. All right, that makes sense.
Nate.
For the record, Devo Samuel did walk off the field under his own pressure.
Pressure, power,
Yep. As soon as I said, I was like, not correct. Power.
incorrect.
Nate, shake your head yes or no. If we're able to bet on high school football at any point, will you be part of our scheme to make lots of money?
Nate,
No, because I
Nate-
like what I do.
well, that's not right. You
He was
don't
very
put him
quick to shoot that one down.
don't put him in that
I mean,
position.
I could bet on it.
No, you can't. Stop.
Why?
Because we like Nate as a ref.
First of all, do we really ever think that
No.
there's going to be betting on high school football?
No.
Let's
Listen,
start.
I bet you could probably go around and probably find somebody that's doing illegal sports betting on high school football, especially in like California, Texas, Florida.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You can go find a local bookie somewhere, I'm sure.
Florida, I think we already know it happens. They've talked about it in the U specials, right? Where they were talking about how the
I mean, I
guys
wouldn't
were
doubt
getting pressure, like, hey, I've got money on this game, not just like $100, like thousands of dollars.
And I always wondered like how these guys in Vegas put the lines on all these NFL and college games. Could you imagine trying to make a line for a high school game?
It would be impossible. There's too many unknowns, too many
No, I
potential
do think I
issues.
remember there was a couple of years ago, and I can't remember the name of the site, but there was a website that put like all the different high school or football teams, like records and scores and all that stuff into some sort of like computer software. You can go on and see like, oh, you can put the 2010 state champs from Pennsylvania versus the 2000 state champs from Texas, and it would say, oh, here's what we think the score would be.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's always been kind of odd to me. But yeah, I bet you there's high school sports betting in those bigger states. There's not a doubt in my mind.
But we can't turn you. It's okay.
No.
I appreciate that about you. All right, that wraps up this week's beanbag.
Wait, breaking news. Breaking news.
Rihanna.
Rihanna will headline the Super Bowl halftime show this year. Rihanna.
I heard Taylor Swift rumors too.
She
to
turned
make
it down.
appearance.
She turned it down. It is now Rihanna.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Sam, what's your favorite Rihanna song? Go.
I was just trying to think that it's been a while because she's not really around anymore. Give me a
cake,
second.
Well, we could go visit
cake,
her old house.
cake.
Can go see Brianna Drive in Barbados over there about so.
Everybody get your umbrellas out.
Umbrella, what's my name,
Sam.
Oh, yeah, what's my name?
and take a bow, that's a bop.
You look so dumb right now.
And that wraps up football. This is Mount Massive.
Yodelay-hoo.
Welcome to an edition of Mount Massive where we're going to no prep it, grip it, and rip it. The topic is best helmets in college football.
Oh,
This is how it's going to work. We're going to start at 5. We're going to go around horn. I'm going to call them out. No thoughts. Alex, don't look it up. I already see your eyeballs cheating. No cheating. We're
not
just gonna call them out.
okay.
Okay, Alex.
Starting at 5 or just
Starting at 5.
start? Well, I don't know if I can do a top 5 under this much pressure. I can just
You
give you
have to.
5.
You have to have your 5 best. Ready? Alex, go.
Are they ordered?
Yep.
Oh shit. Oh, I don't know. Michigan.
Muff.
Just wanted to piss him off.
Texas.
Okay.
Jim.
I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. Muff, you're next.
Number 4.
Yep.
Number 4, Michigan.
Rat bastard. Alex.
Alabama.
Okay. I am going to go with Oregon. No, I'm not. Shit. I'm going to go with SMU. I'm going to go with 3. I'm going to go with Penn State. Alex.
Notre Dame.
Boise State.
Ooh, Muff. Good call. Now I'm going to go with Oregon.
I think Jim's actually looking this up as we're talking.
I am honest
Alex.
to God, I'm not. I
Well,
swear.
he knew what the topic was, so he could have been looking it up
That's the
all
only
day.
way I've got the lead. I'm going to go with Alex, number 2.
Yep.
Come on, go.
UNC.
USC.
UNC.
Oh, Muff.
Probably better with USC. I'm going to go with Penn State at number 2.
All right. I'm going to go. You know what? Alex, what's your number 1?
WVU.
Duh.
Muff, what's your number 1?
Do we have your number 2?
Yeah, I said Oregon.
Okay, my number 1 is the Golden Domers of Notre Dame.
Mine's Ohio State.
That's you see, I don't buy into it's not that I don't think Ohio State is a good helmet, but the decoration is what makes the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not the helmet, that's the decoration.
And
I feel like my list is terrible, but I didn't notice this coming up, so I'm trying to go through my head. And then I was like, what colors do I like? And that's the only thing. And then UNC, and then you guys were yelling at me to pick, so I just said it.
so I think the only mistake you probably made, the UNC, I would probably take out.
Yeah. I would too.
I'll let you take it out. I'll let you come back. What are you going to put as number 2?
What I'm going to put as number 2 is Penn State. I think I would have probably made Penn State my 3 and Notre Dame my 2.
You know what? I'll even let you do that.
Thanks.
Muff, do you want to have any additions or corrections to your list?
I'm fine with my list.
You know what? I'm kind of cool with your list too. I hate the fact that Michigan's on both your lists. I think that was more shit stirring than anything else.
Absolutely.
Michigan was going to be my 5, but then Alex said it and I didn't want to copy.
That's fine.
I did think of them, but I don't really actually even like their helmet. I do think it's kind of a classic look.
One that didn't make the list that I think probably should have on all 3 of ours is USC's.
Right, which is why when Alex said UNC, I thought it was USC.
Yeah, I was like, well, if that's it, but he didn't. So I was like, WU's on your list sucks. I think that's the worst one out of all.
Have you seen some of their cool helmets?
It's WU.
That's the problem. They need the novelty factor for them to be cool.
Yeah.
They
I
don't-
also am a big fan of
No, I mean, like, they
Virginia
have, like-
Tech's black look and Georgia's black look.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like the gray WVU helmets are really cool.
Yeah.
I do like them. I agree.
All right. So that is our Mount Massive quick list. Screw everybody else's helmet list. Ours is the best.
Go.
This is Quick Thoughts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Quick Thoughts. We'll start in the football world. Ohio State star Marvin Harrison Jr. was wearing an Apple Watch in their game Saturday. Is this worth being investigated for any nefarious behavior?
Technically, yes.
Jim? He also had on Louis Vuitton shoes. I want to add that part in.
That's the other part. So the Apple Watch, I mean, I guess, sure. The other part of it is, so if you have the watch, you need the phone near you. Yes or no?
I think they're pretty far.
Yeah, it's like 30 feet. No, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't need that's correct. Yeah, to me, that needs investigated for following rules. And then what's the rule on cleats now with the NIL deals?
Does college football have rule on cleats?
College football is the Wild West, so probably not.
Muff?
Yeah, I saw this and I just thought it was interesting that you saw it everywhere, but I have not seen anything come out from like the Big Ten or the NCAA about something just being looked into. Do I think anything stupid was happening? No, I don't think anything stupid was happening.
For the
But
fact that he chose to wear his watch.
just the fact that he chose to wear his watch in a football game seems to me, at the very least, to be a player safety concern.
Yeah. And then
He
they
just
were
wanted to
talking
see how many
about,
calories to burn.
to throw back to our original conversation about Ohio State and their health technology, they mentioned how they have these rings that report info. So
That's been a couple years, hasn't it? I remember
yeah,
when
we
this
talked
came
about
up.
the COVID rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're wearing those, I wonder. It's a communication device. I don't know if that's okay. So
His dad
I'm
telling
proud
him
of
how
you,
to run
Jim.
routes.
yeah,
I'm proud of you. Arizona State staffers have been reportedly leaking information about the team to help get Herm Edwards fired. If this is true, does the NCAA football program have a scandal on their hands that went way beyond the head coach getting fired?
Yes. Yes, absolutely yes. In the age of gambling and everything that's going on, not only are you conspiring to get a head coach fired, you're also conspiring against your football program, and you're conspiring against betting, which, if we're going to be honest, the biggest thing that's going to come out of this is if there's a betting issue. That's what's going to hammer this home if they're going to do anything about it. So yes, something should be done here.
this is messed up. This is really messed up. I think they should investigate it. I want to know why. I want all the answers on this one. This is jacked up.
I want to know if they were doing it for like a moral cause.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like, was something going on that no one was listening to them about? So they just started blowing everything up so that way something would happen.
Yeah.
Keeping with nefarious football news, that's the theme for this quick thought so far. Brett Favre, comma. Is everyone being too quiet about this? We heard about Mike Vick dogfighting for years, but Favre taking money seems to be on the down low right now. Jim?
Yes, I think that the media, I don't understand why Favre gets a pass on a lot of things. Like, I think we need to be talking about this more. This has lasted too long where he hasn't gotten enough flack for it. I think he's going to get his comeuppance over it. Like, he doesn't get to walk from it. I don't understand why the media hasn't made this a bigger deal.
Muff?
Yes, the media should be all over this. This is not the first time Brett Favre has done something that is of concern to the world, right? Brett Favre, notably, doing things with his phone, reporters.
Dick pics.
Yes.
Just say it.
Yes, he was sending pictures of his more than anticipatory erection to reporters.
Did they want him?
No,
they did not. Which is why I don't understand how Brett Favre gets a pass on something where it's millions of dollars that he was at this point stealing. Brett Favre should be all over the news for being a bad guy, and
he is a bad guy.
He is not as bad as Michael Vick, but he's a bad guy.
Okay, Alex.
Don't agree.
So we're gonna draw the line. Well, I don't think anybody's gonna say they agree with it. But why did we hear about Mike Vick? Mike Vick went to prison.
Yeah, he deserved to, because I like dogs a lot better than most people.
But I think Brett Favre should probably go to prison as well.
I'm in charge. I'm just kidding. I don't know if he should go to prison or not. He probably should do some kind of definite punishment.
He stole money.
Georgia defensive back Javon Bullard was arrested by campus police and charged with multiple misdemeanors Sunday morning, including driving under the influence. Bullard was charged with a DUI under the age of 21 with a concentration of 0.2 grams, improper turning, failure to maintain lane and improper driving on the road, purchasing, and possession of alcoholic beverages as a person under 21, failure to use headlights, failure to carry or produce a license, and holding a wireless device.
I don't want to make light of any DUI. I think drinking and driving is horrible. But when you frame those charges up with what he was doing, he got drunk, got in a car, started texting, and just forgot all rules of the road. I'm not going to turn on my lights. I'm not going to do shit.
And he was possessing under 2 grams?
Well, that's how they measure their alcohol, I think, in Georgia.
Yeah, like I think it's like blowing a 0.2.
Yeah.
That's their BAC though.
Yeah.
That's not grams.
Well,
in
in Georgia, they measure everything in grams and peaches. So that's just how they do things.
I would have
Okay.
just said driving with DUI under the age of 21 with a BAC of 0.2.
Done. Everything else is
We'll
just
keep that.
piling onto the situation. If there was drugs in the car, I would say the only thing he didn't get was like having a firearm. Like that's the only thing that he didn't get in this whole thing, and wrecking and crashing.
Yeah.
But here's a point of emphasis, additional question to this.
Mhm.
With NIL and the likelihood that
Oh my
a receiver on a team, does this mean the NCAA needs to have like a more stringent, or needs to have a procedure or policy in place like the NFL does for substance abuse? Where like you have to go into a program if you do this.
Well, Mr. Higher Ed, what do you think? I defer to you on that one.
This has nothing to do with higher ed. This is about the money.
Well, the
making
NCAA,
juggernaut.
the NCAA can't enforce shit when it comes to that. It would have to put pressure on the institution, correct?
I mean, the conferences.
But the conference can't make. Well, yeah, okay. So
The
It's a
NCAA can put
conference
pressure on
thing.
the conferences. The conferences could do something. I'm just saying, if you're going to put this to money making, which is the justification for the NFL having all of this, their money making scheme, their business, blah 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 blah. Does the NCAA have to catch up at some point for things like this? And
I
not
think
just,
so.
and not just say the institutions use your user conduct process. I think the college football world is going to be forced into a corner to do more, and I don't know what that more looks like.
No, I think they should. Absolutely.
Moving on to baseball, Albert Pujols hits homers 699 and 700 in a game against the Dodgers over the weekend, joining Barry Bonds, asterisk, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth as the only players in MLB history to achieve this feat. But the fan who gets the ball decides to keep it, and Pujols responds, "Souvenirs are for the fans. I don't have any problem if they want to keep it. If they want to give it back, that's great." Does the MLB deserve the 42-year-old Albert Pujols?
I think he's brilliant.
Well, Muff?
Yeah, I agree. Pujols is like what we want baseball to be. And if there were more Albert Pujols, more people would be interested in watching baseball.
Yep.
The fact that he's so flippant about this 700 home run ball just shows that he's for the fans. And let's be real, Albert Pujols probably his last year, which means he may not have another home run ball that is his last home run ball that he gets to hold on to. And this is a very historic home run ball. So, no, we do not deserve him.
There you go. College football fans expressed their displeasure that Aaron Judge's home run watch cuts into games on Saturday. Judge is chasing Robert Maris's record of 61, the AL record set in 1961 with the Yankees. If people can't get behind a home run record being chased, is there any hope for baseball? Jim?
No.
Okay. You guys have both gone out of turn now, so you're both minus ones.
I ignore this. This is baseball's lame. Like I don't think it should cut into Saturday's games at all, especially like it cut into the Clemson Wake game when both times it cut in, there was scoring happening. If I wanted to watch baseball, I would have watched baseball. No, thank you.
This is my own plot twist question. If this was like Tom Brady throwing his 4 millionth touchdown pass and it cut into a baseball game, would you say the same?
Yes.
If you'd be watching football, I'd be watching football.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I would have said that.
Okay. That was, hypothetical. We'll get out of the baseball world.
Do I get to talk?
Yeah, I guess. I thought you already kind of talked, but go ahead.
I spoke out of turn and stopped.
You're right. Your turn now.
This is what makes no sense about baseball and how baseball works. We will glorify and do all of these things whenever we know that people are on steroids going for home run titles, and we will cut in and the people will love it. But Aaron Judge, who at this point has nobody has any reason to believe he's doing anything outside of what is allowed in baseball within PEDs and all of that. But this is what people get pissed off about. He's actually legitimately chasing a record and the world is upset. But if it was Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa juiced up on steroids, we're going to be all about it and we're going to be excited.
But no, can I rebut, please? Alex?
Yes.
I disagree with you on the terms of like, I think Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa ruined the whole chasing thing for people like me. Like, now I don't know if it's legit or not. Now I don't know. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, they've ruined it for us. It was the golden, yes, this is awesome. This is a thing when we thought it was legit. Now it's tarnished it.
Fair enough. Point taken.
All right, moving to basketball. Las Vegas Aces player Sterica Hamby tells the world that she played in the WNBA Finals while pregnant. The two-time WNBA Sixth Woman of the Year was also named an All-Star this season. Should we be hearing more about this? Muff.
Muff.
I mean, I'm the one that saw this, and I thought it was incredibly interesting. And it just puts another layer of the WNBA and why the women playing in that league could be dealing with a whole lot of other things that the men in the NBA don't even have to think about. I do not know when she found out she was pregnant. I just saw that she announced that she was. So I just think it's incredibly interesting. And I mean, it was celebratory. People were congratulating the situation. I just think it adds another level of conversation of this is another thing that women playing professional sports have to consider as part of like their seasons. Like, oh, okay, I want to have a family. I'm interested. I would like to be pregnant. And now I have to put it in this small time period in between seasons.
Jim?
I think all of the Muff just said is valid. Yeah, I agree with what Muff said. I also think it's also none of my damn business. I take that stance as well. And the fact that, like, should I hear about it if she wants me to? That's my stance.
Boston Celtics coach Ime Udoka is under fire and out for the next year as the Celtics coach after information comes out that he was engaging in an affair with the team travel planner. But the story started when it broke that he was making unwanted comments and was caught by the woman's husband during a conversation picked up by their doorbell camera. Is this the right move by the Celtics and the NBA? Jim?
So, and I just want to clarify that we do not have all of the details. Before I say anything, we do not have the details. If this man was doing unwanted things and sexually harassing a colleague, a female colleague, then everything he gets, he deserves. However, if he was having an affair with the team traveling coordinator and the husband found out and the traveling coordinator may have said, I don't want that, and trying to keep her affair hush hush from her husband, I don't know that this is warranted. We need more details. It's not my place to figure that out until I have those details. That is my stance.
Muff?
Yeah, so initially when I was looking at this, I saw like a couple headline tags of like unwanted comments, and I was like, okay, there has to be more than one person involved. To this point, I have not seen that there's a second person involved.
The first headline I saw of this said, for a consensual relationship with another team staffer.
Exactly. And that's what I saw. And then I saw these unwanted comments and I was like, wait, what? There's more?
Let's talk about the real win here. The interim head coach for the year. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
Joe Mazzulla.
Joe Mazzulla.
He was a former WVU basketball player. He's good too.
Okay.
This episode is now WVU related.
It already was. We already talked about them.
Way to take the wind out of it.
Winning some BS trophy.
The Black Diamond. It's the BD trophy, the Black Diamond.
Okay.
Tennis.
Keep moving on.
Rafael Nadal is seen in obvious emotion, crying alongside Roger Federer during Federer's last match at the Laver Cup.
I think it's Laver in this one.
Laver Cup?
Yeah.
Over the weekend. Is this telling of Federer's contribution to the game and the future of tennis? Muff.
Really
Tears?
really interested to hear what Jim has to say about this later. This was in a doubles match. This was like somewhat of like a consolation situation. It was like, hey, this is just a fun thing. I don't know if the Labor Cup has, I don't know what it is, but it's not normal to see Fadal or Nadal and Federer like on the same side. So I think it just goes to show what Federer brought to the game of tennis, the longevity. He's really, after Andre Agassi, the only player you saw playing later into his like 30s, which is not normal for tennis. So I think he has that, which he brought to tennis, you know, that long career, and he was very successful as well. So I think I'm going to go back to something I said last week or the week before, that the tennis world is about to start losing their greats, and there's nobody to step up. And this is I think why some of those other tennis players are like, yeah, this is no good for us.
I think the tiers don't indicate anything other than the rivalry and the respect that they have for each other. I agree with Muff that tennis is losing their great ones and they can't replace them. And that's about as far as I'm going to go with this. That's it. Yeah, I think it's safe for me to stop there.
In the same, go ahead, Muff.
I was going to say, we don't want to celebrate Roger Federer as a great athlete, Jim.
I think he is a great athlete, but the whole lead into that question was not good. So I'm going to back away.
In the same tournament, a match was interrupted when a fan ran onto the court and lit his arm on fire, sitting by the net with his arm ablaze. Is this the most ridiculous protest yet? And now, is this episode chicken related?
That's my question. Was it about chicken?
Oh, I was like, I don't know. What was it about? Do we know? I saw the picture of the guy like.
He had a shirt on, but I couldn't read the shirt.
Okay, then this is my response to this, okay?
Okay.
If you were going to do something where you light your arm on fire in such a drastic way, in a form of protest, and we here talking on the show only know that you set your arm on fire and that's it, it was not a successful protest.
Climate
you did not
change.
get your message.
Climate
You had to
change.
look it up, which I guess is kind of his point. Like, well, now we're looking it up and we're talking about it, but like, you need to be a little bit more clear on the message. Like, scream, I am lighting myself on fire for climate change, and then ignite yourself.
He says he had his shirt on that read "End UK private jets."
That just means he doesn't like private jets. Maybe he didn't support a commercial. Has nothing to do with climate change. He needs to get better messaging, better branding when you're gonna light yourself on fire.
Tennis is the minor leagues of protesting.
Well, the funny part is this picture says in parentheses, accidentally with a question mark, sets himself on fire.
He poured something on his arm and then put a lighter to it. There's nothing accidental about it.
Yeah.
No, he meant to do
that was intentional.
How quick did they put him out?
I would have just let him go a little bit and be like, guess what? You should have done better.
This is from the guy whose teammate's couch was on fire, right?
That's different.
That's different.
It's not my arm. There's a big difference between lighting yourself on fire and lighting a piece of furniture on fire.
All right.
The protester is believed to represent Sacrifice for Survival, a climate emergency protest initiative that previously saw its activists set them on fire each day with the aim of stopping flights between locations inside the UK. Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on. That was enough. This gets much more serious.
Okay.
There is discussion of butt plug cheating in the sport. Yes.
Much more serious.
Would you go that far to be beat or be the best?
Now, to be sure that we are doing the story justice, the butt plug was attached to a computer that would send signals to the butt plug. So this was a very intricate butt plug. Let's be clear.
One wiggle for the left, one wiggle for the right.
Right. And it was chess. So you got to figure like there's a lot of wiggles. Okay. Would I go that far to beat a grand champion of chess? Yes, I would.
I believe that you would, to be honest.
Yes, I would.
I wouldn't. Wait. Wasn't the plug of note attached to beads as well?
I don't know what you mean there, Muff.
What's the rule that I've taught you guys?
Right?
Wings or strings. So maybe the beads were so we can give back out.
Right.
It's the most important part of this. Can you get it back out?
Fair enough. Anyway, no, I'm not going to this level to do anything at the highest level. Number one, because it's
Winners
cheating.
win, Muff.
It's cheating.
Winners
I completely believe that Jim would put the butt plug in and Muff would not.
Wait, it's cheating?
Exactly how I
Winners
saw
win
this.
and cheating's okay?
It's only cheating if you get caught.
And I'm not putting my finger in someone's butt to find out
He
if
didn't
they're
get caught. There's suspicion of.
He's about to get caught like the Houston Astros. What are you going to call this guy? What's his nickname going to be?
Please tell me how you're going to catch him.
butt plug cheater.
Yeah.
BPC.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a device in there? Yes, I do.
They're
And
going to start,
please spread
device
and
do?
cough.
What does
They're
that
gonna
device do?
they're going to start screening him like TSA.
Squat and
Sure.
cough.
I don't see why it's illegal to have one of those in while playing chess.
Okay. It's what was happening with it, not
How
the
are
fact
you
that it was
going to
in.
prove that? How are you going to prove that that's what that was doing? Exactly. He ain't getting caught.
If he does get caught, what's his nickname?
Buzz.
Buzz.
Let's move to golf. I never thought I'd say that. Let's move on to golf. Team USA improves to 12-1-1 in the President's Cup against the international squad, taking the trophy early on Sunday with Xander Schauffele sealing the victory en route to a 17.5 to 12.5. I don't know how scoring works in golf. 17.5 to 12.5
Right? I didn't even know
win.
0.5 was a freaking thing, Muff.
Does Jim even care that Team USA is a winner? Is he an un-American?
No, I care that I kept track to see if they were winning. So screw you, Muff.
Muff, go ahead and give your take on the President's Cup.
I didn't get to watch much of it except for like the last 45 minutes today when Xander Schauffele sealed it. Jim's not an American apparently, so good for him.
Thank you.
And this is like, I don't think we should be excited about this as much as people want us to be. The President's Cup is like, we have the Ryder Cup, which everyone gets excited for. So we're going to put this other thing in the other years where the Ryder Cup is not happening, and we're going to call it the President's Cup, where the U.S. just dominates. This is like bringing in those schools to play NCAA powerhouses in week 1 or 2 and say, hey, we're going to pay you to play. But we just
If you don't like Live Golf because it's ran by the Saudis, you should love the President's Cup.
I don't think those two are.
Yeah, they are. America.
All right, moving on to boxing-ish. Floyd Mayweather.
I remember my first beer.
Floyd Mayweather stopped mixed martial arts artist Mikuru Asakura in the second round of the pair's exhibition boxing match in Japan on Saturday. Muff, Jim.
How low does Floyd have to go to get paid? I'm going to go to Japan, fight an MMA-ish star, kind of, and get paid.
I mean, he's going to a place where they're going to pay him.
Like, that's it. He is.
Wait.
Yeah.
Live
And
golf.
you know the guy took a dive.
Do we?
Come on.
Floyd's the greatest, Jim.
Yeah. Floyd's stopping power historically is nil.
Alex, you had something to say about Live Golf, it sounded like.
Well, no, he said they'll go where they need to go to get paid. I was like, what? Live golf.
Yeah, but
If
again,
Floyd would play for Live Golf.
Floyd is the poster child of why the PGA
Yeah.
players that are going to Live Golf should not be going there.
Floyd and Phil are probably best
Because if you're
friends.
not good enough to get paid where you're really supposed to be, then
You
It's
find
just
somewhere
time.
you find somewhere else where nobody cares that you're doing it. Got it.
Right, exactly. And that's quick thoughts. Alex, who won?
I think this week, I think Jim won because he is willing to go to the heights of a butt plug to win.
I would like Jim tested after the show by his wife to know if he has one in right now.
I'm glad you clarified that by his wife because I will not be looking at Jim's butt.
And this show needs the maturity change This for this episode. Make sure you put that in there.
The show is now butt plug related.
Oh,
Which
my
brings
God.
us to the end of Sports Stuff with Jim Muff on Monday, September 26th in the year 2022. Keep listening, keep reviewing, keep commenting, keep rating, keep doing all the things to keep us going in the positive direction as Jim gets ready to go take the dog for a walk.
Yep.
No, that's not a euphemism either. Just to
No,
clarify.
the
It's
dog
really
literally
taking
walked in here.
I think Muff next will be making an appearance in the betting episode this week.
Yep.
We need him.
Yeah, we all do this week. I agree. So keep doing all the things. Let us continue to grow as people. Help us to keep mature as betters. Help us to keep maturing as human beings. Apparently, after this episode, we need some of that.
Yes, we need
Definitely.
maturity.
And to do that, you have to tell a friend, make a friend, be a friend.